we've got a cruise altitude of 39,000 feet, just approaching the top of the North Island. Shortly to begin our descent into Auckland.
Good afternoon and welcome back to another video. Right now I'm at Tokyo's Narita airport and we'll be flying to Auckland, New Zealand. How cool is that? This is my first time visiting New Zealand and visiting the Southern Hemisphere, and I've been counting down the days for this trip ever since I booked the tickets. To get there, we'll be flying with Air New Zealand in Economy Class on one of their Dreamliners. So it's another airline which I've yet to fly before, so I'm excited about that as well. The flight's set to depart at 6:30, so as always I'm at the airport a few hours beforehand. So let's start by checking out Narita's airport in 2023 as we make our way from A to B. Well, Narita appears to be as bustling as it once used to be, and the departures board is full once again, populated with the many evening outbound flights. For the inquiring mind, here's a glimpse from 2 years earlier in 2021, when international traffic to Japan was nil to none. Check-in for Air New Zealand can be found in the north wing of Terminal 1, alongside all the other Star Alliance members. And just a PSA before reaching check-in is that all Japan border restrictions will finally be lifted on May 8, 2023, about 2 weeks after this video was released. During check-in, passengers are greeted with this message. And since I was only traveling with carry-on and I didn't know how strongly this was enforced, it can't be that strong for a mainline carrier, right? I made my way to one of the few scales in the terminal to see if I would pass. Close enough. Back to the check-in kiosk, and it looks like it would be a full flight this evening. So I went ahead and printed the boarding pass. It was mid-afternoon now, so I was looking for a little nibble, and my go-to at this airport is a Lawson's convenience store tucked away on the second floor. For what, mind you? Karage-kun, of course. Quite possibly the best convenience store chicken in Japan. Always go for cheese. Near that Lawson's is the food court and the outdoor observation deck, which was a nice place to enjoy that chicken on a nice late winter's day before jumping through security. And it's nice to see all the different airlines which are flying to Narita once again. Speaking of security, look at this never-ending line. Dear oh dear. The good news was that departures board was full of flights. The bad news was that departures board was full of flights. But for as long as this line was, it actually moved along at a fair pace. Well, for as long as that security line was, it actually went by pretty fast, and the passport control was equally as fast. So now we're gate side, and I think we're at gate 38 or something like that. So let's head over to the gate, and we still have another hour and a half to kill before we jump on board. It's just 4:57, 5 o'clock right now. Tonight we are departing from gate 38. Looks familiar? It's the identical gate we were at the last time I was in Narita in July 2022 for my flight to Vancouver. But unlike in 2022, the 40's gates are now open, which means my favorite cafe in the airport is also open, the Fasola Cafe. So I grabbed a drink and headed over to check our aircraft. And wow, here it is. I gotta say, I love the design of Air New Zealand's livery. One of my favorites. And soon enough, after the sun had set, it was time to board. I was so excited at this point, and I really enjoyed rewatching these clips during editing. When you ask Canadians where they'd like to visit, New Zealand is always at the top of the list. It's just unimaginably far, worlds away, and has such a wonderful reputation. Today we're in 48H, where a blanket, pillow, and headphones were nicely placed. Air New Zealand currently utilizes its Dreamliner for its daily Tokyo to Auckland flight. There are 302 seats over 3 classes on the 6.5-year-old Wakararangi, and I hope I said that right. Some seats, row 36 to 43, can be converted to the Sky Coach. It'll take a good 10 hours to cover the 8,800 kilometers or 5,400 miles down to Auckland. Economy class is configured with 9 seats per row with black seats and off-white seatbacks. I love the purple LED lighting throughout the cabin, bright enough for the crew to meet the needs of the guests, but not overbearing on this overnight flight. And it just looks cool, doesn't it? Seat back contains the IFE monitor with the headphone jack and USB port underneath, and below is a pocket which contains a safety card. Seat pitch is between 31 and 33 inches, so in line with other mainline carriers we've enjoyed. And between the seat is a power outlet. The seats themselves were comfortable, and I was able to rest during the flight. The headrest can be adjusted to your liking, which is a nice touch for these evening flights. Guests are provided with a pillow and blanket, and I think these are the best blankets I've experienced on all my flights. They're thick, soft, and very warm, which was perfect because I thought the cabin temperature was on the cool side for this flight, which of course I didn't mind. And above is the personal reading light. Like Japan Airlines, Air New Zealand also passed on the personal air vents for their Dreamliners. Overall, I was very pleased with the economy cabin for this evening flight. Alright, so the seatbelt sign just went off, and as I always say, it's a good idea to bring a set of clothes to change into for long haul flights, more comfortable to sleep in. And other than that, I'm going to go back to the seat and enjoy the service on this flight. And I love the cabin, it looks great with the purple and the blue lighting, I really like it. One of my favorite parts on a long haul flight is enjoying the meals they offer. I love eating. Dinner options were beef with mashed potatoes, or teriyaki chicken with rice, and I went with the latter. I appreciated that the bun was warm and not stone cold. And I was able to enjoy my meal without dropping my camera this time. Overall, the meal was delicious and flavorful, and the vegetables weren't overcooked. And here's what the beef dish looked like. The teriyaki chicken and the mashed potatoes from the beef dish both stood out this evening. With my meals, I always enjoyed trying regional products on board, and I enjoyed Mac's Citrus Lager. Bright, crisp, and refreshing. So cheers to crossing the equator for the first time. After the meal service, the lights were turned off, and like many night flights, it remained this way for the majority of the flight. Time to sleep. I was surprised to find out that Air New Zealand provides free Wi-Fi on its flights for all passengers. I don't know if it's a Samsung thing or not, but I could only connect by going through the advanced setting on my browser, which then allowed me to access the login screen. Because of this, I couldn't access internet on this flight, but managed to on the next one. And as is tradition, I invite new viewers to subscribe as I travel to the Southern Hemisphere for continued aviation and travel-related content. The in-flight entertainment system has a healthy library of media to choose from. The interface was easy to use and navigate, and responded quickly. There's also Kia Ora, Air New Zealand's in-flight magazine. Instead of one in each pocket, there's a few held in the bulkheads which you can help yourself too. And here's a look at one of the lavatories. They were kept clean throughout the flight. And the little ledge here is a great idea for your phone or personal items. And the design is pretty cool, isn't it? And each lavatory I visited had a different theme. And there's soft rock playing in the lavatories too. It was the first time I came across this. Pretty cozy place as far as lavatories are concerned. With the last few hours to go, the lights came on and breakfast was served soon after. Dinner was served from front to back, so Air New Zealand serves breakfast the other way around. So individuals at the rear of the plane who may not have had an option for dinner gets first dibs for breakfast. Sounds like a fair practice. Breakfast options were salmon and rice or the omelette. And by the time they got to our row, the salmon dish had already ran out. Must be a hot item. So, omelette it is. Again, another perfectly suitable meal for economy. It wasn't too long after breakfast, and we catch our first glimpse of the country. Wow, absolutely incredible. It's always great just to see a new country for the first time. It's something I always remember when I travel. If there's one thing I offer caution with, is to double check if you can earn status miles on your flight. I was surprised several days later to find out that for a long haul flight like this, I earned 0 qualifying miles. And this is something I never ran into with any Starlines carrier. From the Air New Zealand website, and this is just a demo by the way, where I bought my ticket, there appears to be no variation on economy, such as economy basic, standard, or anything like that. But once selected, on top, it will indicate your booking class. In my case, this was booking class L, and a trip over to Air Canada's Aeroplan, who I collect my miles with, shows no accrual rate for this class. Depending on the time the ticket is bought or the route, a different booking class may be displayed. Again, very surprised, so keep this in mind if you intend to collect miles. And a reminder to double check which booking classes offer status miles for your mileage program. The one-way flight from Tokyo came out to 98,310 yen. Alright, so that's Air New Zealand's economy product from Tokyo on an evening flight. And overall, it was a nice flight down. It was a little bumpy at times. The seatbelt sign came on intermittently throughout the flight. I enjoyed the food as well. I actually thought I like the teriyaki chicken and I like the mashed potatoes from the beef dish. So if they combine that together, that would have been perfect for me. And I also like their attention to detail and their flair they put in their product. I enjoyed the purple mood lighting throughout the aircraft. The lavatory has a different design and they have the music in it. And I thought it was great having the Maori, I hope I'm saying that right, the Maori language in the flight during the announcements. Both were the English announcements and the Japanese announcements. So that was pretty cool to pick up a few new words along the way. And the great part is it's 9:45 in the morning now, and after a 10-hour flight, I'm not jet lagged. I'm ready to go. So that's always a plus. Anyway, let me know what you thought about Air New Zealand's economy product. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.